The lodge feels a little colder than it used to. I wanted to thank you for giving me the chance to work with you. I know we met under, unusual circumstances. You seem to be acclimating well to Constellation. Are you enjoying working with them? I think none of us were expecting what we have found. Well, perhaps Matteo. You have certainly become a vital part of the organization. That is a credit to your abilities. If I may, from what you have seen, do you think I fit in well with the rest of Constellation? No, I do not. But I find it hard to quantify. Many of the other members are polite, but distant. I worry that my background and my actions concern them. I have not shared much, but everyone knows I worked with smugglers for years. I am no stranger to violence and death. I might not admit this to the others, but at times it was. I do not regret this, but I do know how it makes me seem. For those that have not lived it, it can be difficult to imagine or accept. Others here have seen conflict, but for more noble causes. Vladimir is the only one here who can begin to understand. He was the one who pressed the group to include me. I lack his charm. He puts others at ease. I fear my presence does the opposite. That is kind of you. You also have a lot going. I find expressing affection difficult, but truly. Thank you. I know this seems trivial, perhaps childish. I have just always relied only on myself. I have never been surrounded by people like this, by a group I wish to be a part of. Does that make sense? And yet here we are, working together. And that has, I think, gone very well. Discussing these things is challenging for me. I hope now you can better understand why I wanted to keep the circumstances of our meeting quiet. I wanted to thank you for not saying anything to Vladimir. I know that you said you wouldn't, but it is still a relief. I would like my contributions to Constellation to amount to more than violence. It would have been, to some. Thank you for talking this over with me. It is good to know that at least one member of Constellation understands me. I'm not sure when things will feel safer. But we have not been attacked again. I look forward to it.
Looks like it's tag you're it, Andreja.
Tag indeed, Sam. We will see you later.
I need everyone looking out for each other during this time. Losses hit a small group like ours especially hard.
Thank you for helping me out with the artifacts. I need to inventory all our equipment and other odds and ends for damages.
Morale in the lodge has been measurably reduced.
Nice day for a picnic.
I am thankful these rides are quick. I do not like being in small, enclosed spaces with many people I do not know.
If we see at least 10% of the downwind.
I do find that statue pleasing. I wonder if it matches the original vision of the artist, or if they changed the design as they worked on it. Always worth checking. Never know what you might find in their pockets.
Keep moving, right through the checkpoint.
Of course the United Colonies is paying close attention. Heaven forbid something escape their notice.
All is well, Captain. All things considered.
You look well. Welcome back. Make it quick. We have work to do. Good. Letting someone else do the worrying has given me time to process my husband's death. I've come to terms with the fact that nothing I do can bring him back. Once that sank in, I commissioned a memorial to be constructed for Manuel for closure, and because he was never given a proper burial. It was built on the asteroid where we first met. I wanted it there as a testament to our happy memories. I like knowing they'll be remembered when I'm gone. It's brought me a lot of peace. Whoever Manuel is now, I hope it's done the same for him. He had a very special soul. He deserves to rest in peace. All right. That's enough sentimentality for one day. We have work to do, Dusty. Let's get back to it. Don't do anything stupid out there.
Welcome, Captain. We've been expecting you. You're clear to dock at docking port 1.
Come on. There are worlds to conquer.
Captain on deck.
Careful you do not track mud on the floors. You would not wish to tarnish this hospitable environment.
Welcome aboard the UC Vigilance. Did you have any questions before I escort you to the commander? I'm not authorized to divulge information about this vessel. Suffice to say, it's one of the toughest ships in the UC's arsenal. Yeah, listen to him carefully. The commander's a one-and-done kind of officer. In other words, he hates to repeat himself. Other than that, just observe standard military decorum, and it should keep you from serving any time on the ship's cleaning detail. Understood? If you'd follow me, please. So, you're the vanguard that took down that terramorph on Tau City. You've made quite an impression around here. Everyone upstairs is talking about it. Damn, that must have been one hell of a firefight. I almost regret missing out on all the fun. Of course, we don't normally see that kind of action on the Vigilance, but we have our moments. All right, Vanguard. Take the lift up to Ops. Commander Ikande should be waiting for you. Good luck. I'm not authorized to answer your questions. If you have any questions, save them for Commander Ikande.
Hypothermia can set in quickly, and the effects can be deadly. We should keep that in mind. You have my attention.
Pardon. United Colony System Defense at your service.
SysDef Marines are the best of the best. Hey. Okay, hello.
Hello.
SysDef Marines are the best of the best.
I woke up in the middle of the night once and found Ensign Betty tinkering with some machine. Does she ever sleep? Yes? Excuse me. The fleet call us sharks. They know what happens when we see red. The Vigilance is a state-of-the-art warship. Anyone that gets on the wrong end of her guns is gonna have a bad time. Howdy.
Yes? What? Hey. I'm as the sun on Jemison. Once I get time off, that's the first place I'm jumping.
Can we try and focus on the matter at hand, please? Ah, there you are. Commander Kibwe Ikande, UC SysDef. Glad to have you aboard. I was beginning to think you were having second thoughts about Commander Tuala's offer. UC SysDef is a division of the UC Navy. While they handle big picture stuff, we deal specifically with pirates. Since you're already involved with the Vanguard, I don't have to underline how important your contribution will be to the security of our spaceways. Yes, I know. I was intentionally vague when I advised Mast of my needs, but rest assured, I'll answer all your questions in due time. So, now that you're part of the team, allow me to introduce you to your new home. This is the Operations Center of the UC Vigilance, SysDef's nerve center dedicated to the destruction of the Crimson Fleet. That's strange. According to your file, you've encountered them before. On Vectera specifically. They were the pirates that attacked your mining outpost? I'm surprised you don't remember. We are currently in the Sol system, in deep orbit around Phobos. As to why, I'll explain momentarily. Whether this ship is impressive or not, you're the key element that we've been lacking. We need eyes and ears inside the Crimson Fleet. Someone who can feed us information, evidence, and expose their weaknesses. The catch is that you can't just knock on their front door and ask for an application. Getting inside is going to take some finesse. Let's get one thing straight right now, soldier. I don't care if you're from the Vanguard, the Navy, or the technician that scrapes the carbon scoring off the engine nozzles. In my eyes, your past service no longer matters. You're now an agent of SysDef, meaning that it's my job to keep you alive. I do. Our intelligence has managed to find a possible opening into the Crimson Fleet through Saoirse Bowden, one of their contacts. She works for the Trade Authority in Sidonia, so you'll be using a container of Aurora we've loaded on your ship to get her attention. Aurora is a Class A controlled substance that's illegal to transport outside of Neon, a city on Volai. Get caught with this stuff aboard a ship and you're looking at some serious fines. That's classified. Suffice to say that the smuggler who was previously hauling it will be spending the rest of their life in prison. That's right. So it'll be your job to convince this person that you're the real deal. Once you bluff your way into the Crimson Fleet, then the operation proceeds to evidence gathering. That's where my second-in-command, Lieutenant Jillian Toft, comes into the picture. She'll explain everything you need to know. Let's just say my superiors need proof that engaging the Crimson Fleet is a larger priority than they're willing to admit. If we shove enough concrete evidence under their noses, they'll have no choice but to allocate the resources that I've requested. At the same time, we can use the evidence to arrest members of the Crimson Fleet, weakening them enough to strike a fatal blow. Well then, I suppose you'll just have to take your chances. In the meantime, I expect you to follow my orders, to the letter. Remember, this entire operation rests on your ability to infiltrate the Crimson Fleet and bring us the evidence we need to take them down. Then you better learn to swim, because you're diving right into the deep end on this one. I've studied your profile. I know you can do this. I'm not about to throw away someone's life on a whim or a prayer. Just use your best judgment, trust your instincts, and watch your back. I wouldn't expect any less. Look, before you begin, I want to make something perfectly clear. As an undercover operative for UC SysDef, you'll be expected to follow our code of conduct and ethics. Allow yourself to stray too far off the path, and you stand a good chance of spiraling out of control. The Crimson Fleet doesn't follow the rules. They only abide by one thing: money. All of their morals and social graces fall by the wayside in pursuit of their greed. At first glance, this can appear quite enticing, so I'm warning you not to get lured into their trap. Think you can handle that? To put it simply, you can't go into every situation with guns blazing. Think before you act. Calculate what you're doing and pull the trigger only when it's absolutely necessary. At the end of the day, your primary goal is taking down the Crimson Fleet. That's the greater good. That's what I wanted to hear. Anyway, it's time to hand you over to Lieutenant Toft. She'll brief you about the details of the evidence-gathering portion of the operation. Now, get out of here, and good luck. While you're running with the Crimson Fleet, you're undoubtedly going to be faced with some morally gray decisions. It's going to be difficult for you to weigh the consequences of pulling the trigger while maintaining your cover. Do what you have to do, but remember why you're out there in the first place. That's why I expect you to constantly seek alternative means to overcome your obstacles, rather than blowing holes in them. Look, I can see that you're struggling with this, so let me simplify this for you. If there's a route to your goal which doesn't involve killing innocent people, I'm urging you to follow that path. Use your instincts. I'm certain you'll do the right thing. For your own safety, nobody but myself and the crew of the Vigilance will be aware that you're working for the United Colonies. Basically, if you land in jail, you're going to have to deal with the fines. All we know is that she's been with the Trade Authority for years, which means she's been privy to some seriously shady deals. She's shrewd and she's diligent. The only reason we were able to connect her with the Crimson Fleet at all was thanks to an informant. I'm afraid she's the best lead we've got. That's easy to answer. You don't. We'll be monitoring your activities from the Vigilance and attempting to keep it within your vicinity. When you feel you've gathered enough evidence and at the completion of your assignments, head back here for a debrief. Beyond that, you're completely on your own. As you were. I thought it was clear that Lieutenant Toft should be your next stop. Good luck.
Yes?
All right, we don't have a lot of time, so I need you to listen up. While you're working undercover, it's imperative that you gather as much evidence as possible. If you find any records that look suspicious or incriminating, you bring it to me. Is that understood? I'd scour every inch of wherever the Crimson Fleet sends you. Otherwise, you're wasting our time and risking your neck for nothing. Criminals are sloppy. Look hard enough and I'm certain you'll stumble across their mess. Well, since it isn't every day we stumble across a criminal's fully written confession, we need to build a case against our suspects. The more evidence we acquire, the stronger our case becomes. And knowing the Crimson Fleet, they'll leave plenty of evidence for you to find. You better make it, because Commander Ikande cashed in all his chips to get this operation off the ground. I want data slates, computer downloads, handwritten notes. Hell, I'll take anything if it'll get those bastards thrown into the brig. Haven't you been paying attention? Our goal here is the complete eradication of the Crimson Fleet. In order to do that, we need to dismantle them piece by piece from within. If you bring me evidence, we can make arrests and slowly drain their resources. Think of it as a death by 1,000 tiny cuts. You have to understand that my agitation with the Crimson Fleet comes from personal experience. That minor skirmish you had with them on Vectera was nothing compared to the death and destruction those pirates leave behind. If you've seen what I've seen, you'd understand why I'm pushing you so hard. That's all we're asking. Oh, before you go, there's one more thing. Commander Ikande has authorized a credit disbursement for each piece of evidence that you return, as compensation for your efforts. Well, that's just it. You're not career military, are you? And speaking frankly, you're completely out of pocket during this operation. You'll be paying for your own supplies and other unexpected incidentals. So, if I were you, I'd stop asking questions and accept the compensation. It's not generous, it's motivational. Commander Ikande's idea. All right, we've loaded a container of Aurora into your ship's cargo hold. We're also providing you with a sample you can use to tease the goods. We've cleared your ship for launch. Proceed to Sidonia. Make contact with Saoirse Bowden. And with any luck, she'll point you to the Crimson Fleet. That should do it. You're dismissed. Not really, no. I've learned to keep my personal experiences separate from the job.
That's a freestar system.
Still, if pirates are involved, shouldn't we go after them?
It depends. But the name on our chest says UC, and given the FC fought us tooth and nail to get their independence, our gunship showing up on their doorstep won't be seen as neighborly.
Yeah. Maybe. No, it's not really an appropriate time to be going over my private life. There are much more important things to be done. Let's just stick to the job at hand and concentrate on the mission. But, maybe we can talk about it some other time, okay? We'll be keeping them close at hand until this operation is complete.
We
So,
should team up for the next
we'll be holding
mission.
them in the Vigilance's brig.
I don't think so.
If you're feeling particularly ruthless, you could always head down there and say
I work
hello.
best alone.
I'm sure they'll be thrilled to see you. Don't worry, the container's been registered with UC Security, so you shouldn't have any trouble. Even if you're scanned. Of course, if we find out you tried to sell it to someone outside the boundaries of this particular operation, well, I don't think I need to tell you the consequences of making that mistake. I'll be here if you have any more questions. If you need any more information, you should ask before you depart the Vigilance. We'll be here if you need us.
Is something amiss?
What's this I hear about you getting ambushed by Fleet?
It wasn't an ambush, it was an accident. We jumped to the same place at the same time.
Stars, what system was that? Cheyenne Fen?
Pretty much. It got so bad I had to dust off with half my ship dangling parts. Yes?
Howdy. Once we get rid of all the pirates, the galaxy will be a better place.
Lieutenant Toft is as organized as they come. You can be sure she'll keep our T's crossed and guns loaded.
Excuse me.
Always a satisfying moment to return to your ship.
Good to see you. Is that all? How are you, Dusty? It was good to see you.